What if I told you that a century-old border dispute could potentially ignite a new conflict in South America? Yes, you heard it right. The simmering tensions between Venezuela and Guyana are threatening to boil over, with the roots of this conflict stretching back to the 19th century. A territorial dispute over the Essequibo region, a land rich in natural resources, is at the heart of this conflict. The situation has become even more volatile with the discovery of oil reserves. This has attracted the attention of international powers and global oil giants, adding another layer of complexity to the dispute. The stakes are high and the tension is palpable. Venezuela, grappling with an economic crisis, is adopting an aggressive stance, while Guyana, a rising star in offshore oil production, is not backing down either. This brewing conflict, fueled by a potent mix of history, resources and geopolitics, is set to shape the future of these two nations and potentially the entire South American region. So how did this all begin and where is it headed? Let's delve into the heart of the matter. To understand the current situation, we need to step back in time to the 19th century. The Essequibo region, a vast and resource-rich territory, has long been a bone of contention between Guyana and Venezuela. The roots of this dispute trace back to an 1899 boundary decision, where an international tribunal ruled that the Essequibo region belonged to Guyana, then a British colony. However, Venezuela has consistently questioned this decision, alleging it to be a conspiracy that resulted in a grand land theft. Its claim is not without basis. The 1899 arbitration was indeed fraught with controversy, with allegations of collusion between the arbitrators and the British government. This has fueled Venezuela's conviction that the Essequibo region rightfully belongs to it. In 1966, an agreement known as the Geneva Agreement was signed between the British and Venezuelan governments, aiming to resolve this territorial dispute. This agreement, however, has been interpreted differently by both nations. While Venezuela views it as a nullification of the original 1899 arbitration, Guyana maintains that it simply established a mechanism to peacefully resolve the dispute, without negating the initial accord. Over the years, these differing interpretations have kept the issue alive, causing sporadic flare-ups and diplomatic spats between the two nations. The Essequibo region, representing about two-thirds of Guyana's total land area, is not just a matter of territorial pride for Venezuela, but also a symbol of historical injustice it seeks to rectify. Fast forward to today, and this old conflict has found a new catalyst: oil. In 2015, a major discovery shook the foundations of this long-standing dispute. Beneath the disputed waters of the Essequibo region, a consortium led by ExxonMobil struck black gold. Major oil deposits, vast and valuable, were found, turning the tides of fortune in favor of Guyana. In a short span of time, this small South American nation ascended to the ranks of the world's top offshore oil producers, becoming the fourth largest in the game. This newfound wealth, however, did not go unnoticed. Venezuela, a nation once flush with oil money, found itself peering over the fence, watching as Guyana's fortunes rose while its own dwindled. Mismanagement and economic sanctions had taken a toll on Venezuela's oil industry, causing it to plummet from the heights it once enjoyed. The discovery of oil in the Essequibo region, therefore, added another layer of complexity to the territorial dispute. For Venezuela, the oil beneath the disputed waters represented more than just economic salvation. It offered a chance for the government to rally internal support, to unite the nation against a common external adversary, and to distract from the issues plaguing the country. The oil became a beacon of hope, a promise of prosperity, but also a catalyst for conflict. Yet for Guyana, the oil signaled a brighter future, a chance to elevate its economy and secure a prosperous future for its people. Aware of its newfound power, Guyana was not about to back down. It called on international backing, vowing to protect its sovereignty and its claim over the oil-rich waters. The treasure beneath the sea has not only promised prosperity but also sparked the flames of conflict. The oil factor, indeed, is fueling the fire, escalating the tensions between Guyana and Venezuela. And as the world watches, the question remains: will this black gold be a blessing or a curse? The stakes rose in 2023 when Venezuela made a bold move. In an audacious bid to press its claim on the disputed Essequibo territory, President Maduro's government held a referendum. The result? A decision to transform the Essequibo into a fully fledged state of Venezuela. This move was seen as a pressure mechanism, a political tactic used by the Venezuelan government to whip up nationalism in the run-up to the presidential elections. But this was not without controversy. Doubts were raised about the legitimacy of the referendum, with concerns over inflated turnout numbers. The international community watched in apprehension, sensing the potential for a full-blown crisis. In response, Guyana's president called for support from the United Nations and its allies. He urged oil companies operating in the region to ignore Venezuela's claims and vowed to protect Guyana's sovereignty. This call for support was not just a plea, but a warning. A warning to the world of the escalating tensions and the potential for conflict. Meanwhile, Venezuela continued to press forward with its plans. The government announced the creation of an administrative center and state-owned firms for the Essequibo, further solidifying its claim on the disputed territory. It was clear that Venezuela was not backing down, but neither was Guyana. The country remained steadfast in its position, maintaining that the original boundary decision was legal and binding. As a result, the situation continued to escalate, with both countries refusing to back down. As the situation escalates, the international community watches anxiously, sensing the potential for a full-blown crisis. The question on everyone's mind now is, what happens next? As we navigate the labyrinth of possibilities, two main outcomes emerge: diplomatic resolution or military escalation. On one hand, we have the prospect of diplomatic resolution, a path that requires a delicate dance of negotiation, compromise, and the willingness to set aside historical grievances for the sake of peace. International bodies like the United Nations and the Organization of American States could play pivotal roles in mediating such a resolution. Their influence and the weight of international law could provide a framework for a peaceful settlement, with the potential to diffuse tensions and establish a mutually agreed boundary. However, the path to diplomacy is paved with challenges. It demands a significant level of trust and cooperation, qualities that are often in short supply in disputes of this nature. On the other hand, there's the risk of military escalation. With Venezuela's economic crisis and Guyana's oil boom, the stakes are high. A military conflict could result in substantial loss and instability, not just for these two nations, but for the entire region. Moreover, the ripple effects of such a conflict could be felt on the global stage. It could disrupt oil markets, strain international alliances, and potentially draw other nations into the fray. The role of international bodies, in this case, would shift from mediators to peacekeepers, working to prevent escalation and protect the rights and safety of citizens. As we stand on the precipice of what could be a defining moment in South American geopolitics, the path forward is fraught with uncertainty. The Essequibo dispute is more than a territorial conflict. It's a complex entanglement of history, economics, and geopolitics. While the future remains uncertain, the Essequibo dispute serves as a stark reminder of how the pursuit of resources can rekindle old conflicts and shape the geopolitical landscape.